Take a moment to relax and let this story ease you into rest. Katrina and T's joyous celebration. This story is about Katrina and Pete, who prepare and host a joyous festival, fostering friendship and community in Eldoria. Once upon a time in the lush, verdant lands of Eldoria, there lived a kind and curious human girl named Katrina. She resided in a quaint cottage at the edge of the whispering woods, where ancient trees told tales and the wind sang lullabies. One day, while exploring the mystical forest, Katrina stumbled upon a gentle beast named Pete. He, with fur like spun gold and eyes the color of the morning sky, was unlike any creature Katrina had ever seen. The two quickly became inseparable friends, sharing adventures and stories under the dappled sunlight. In the first day of spring arrived, Katrina and Pete decided to celebrate the season's renewal by planning a grand festival. They envisioned a celebration full of laughter, music, and joy, one that would bring together all the creatures of Eldoria. For weeks they gathered colorful flowers, sweet berries, and fine linens to prepare. Katrina dealt in dalliance while Pete, with his mighty strength, built a towering maypole adorned with ribbons. The day of the festival dawned bright and clear. The air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers, and the sound of birds chirping merrily. Creatures of all shapes and sizes arrived, their eyes white with wonder at the preparations. There were agile foxes, wise old owls, playful rabbits, and even the shy deer from the forest's heart. Katrina greeted each guest warmly, making them feel right at home. As the sun reached its zenith, the celebration began in earnest. Music filled the air as fiddlers and flutists played enchanting melodies. Katrina and Pete led the dance round the maypole, their laughter echoing through the woods like a joyful symphony. The animals joined in, their movements light and joyous, celebrating the renewal of life and the bonds of friendship. As dusk approached, the forest was bathed in the golden glow of lanterns that Katrina and Pete had hung among the branches. The evening was filled with stories shared by the light of the flickering flames and a feast of berries and nuts gathered from the forest. Under the blanket of twinkling stars, Katrina and Pete watched over their friends, their hearts swelling with happiness. It was a night to remember, where the magic of Eldoria and the spirit of community shone brightly. As the festival drew to a close, Katrina whispered to Pete, "We should do this every year." Pete nodded in agreement, his gentle eyes sparkling. And so from that day forward, Katrina and Pete's joyous celebration became a cherished tradition in Eldoria. A time when the bonds of friendship were renewed, and the magic of the forest was celebrated by all. The new chapter begins, soft and sweet. Daisy and Violet, the heartwarming friendship. This story is about Daisy, who finds a strong sense of belonging and friendship with her goldfish Violet through cherished shared moments. Once upon a time, in a small, picturesque village surrounded by lush green fields and vibrant wildflowers, there lived a girl named Daisy. Daisy had always felt a bit out of place among the other village children, who spent their days running through the fields and playing games. Daisy preferred the quiet comforts of her small cottage, where she would lose herself in books and her thoughts. One sunny afternoon, Daisy decided to visit the village market. As she wandered through the colorful stalls, she found herself drawn to a small, golden fish swimming gracefully in a bowl. The fish had a brilliant orange shell and bright, curious eyes. Immediately, Daisy felt a connection with the fish and decided to bring her new friend home. She named the fish Violet. Violet was no ordinary goldfish. She seemed to understand Daisy's every word and would swish her tail excitedly whenever Daisy spoke to her. Daisy set up a special place for Violet by the window, where they could both enjoy the sunlight and watch the world go by. As days turned into weeks, Daisy and Violet became inseparable. Each evening, Daisy would sit by the window and read her favorite stories aloud. Violet would listen intently, her little fins fluttering with excitement. The bond between them grew stronger, and Daisy no longer felt alone. One day, a storm swept through the village, and the children sought shelter in their homes. Daisy noticed something peculiar. From her window, she saw a small, frightened bird trapped in the rain. Without hesitation, she grabbed her raincoat and ran outside to rescue the bird. Violet watched with concern from her bowl. Daisy brought the shivering bird inside and gently dried its feathers. She placed the bird next to Violet's bowl, where it warmed up under the glow of the lamp. With Daisy's care, the bird soon recovered and flew away, leaving Daisy with a sense of accomplishment and warmth. That evening, as Daisy recounted the event to Violet, she realized how much belonging and understanding she had found in her friendship with her goldfish. Violet, too, contented and happy, swishing her tail in agreement. The sun set behind the hills, casting a golden glow over the village. Daisy knew that she was never alone as long as she had Violet by her side. They belonged together, and that was all that mattered. And so, Daisy and Violet lived happily in their small cottage, content in their shared moments, and the unspoken understanding that true friendship brings. This was a story of belonging, where a girl and her goldfish found comfort and companionship in each other, in the most unexpected way. The next story awaits, ready to ease your mind. Flora and William, A Journey to Happiness. This story is about Tiala's journey of self-discovery and happiness guided by the wise and kind William. Tiala lived in a quaint little village surrounded by rolling green hills and vibrant wildflowers. Her days were filled with the simple joys of nature, yet she yearned for a deeper happiness. One warm morning, Tiala met William, a loving guardian with kind eyes and a tender smile. He was known throughout the village as a figure of wisdom and warmth. Fella scienced Tiala's silent quest for happiness and offered to guide her through the hidden forest. The hidden forest was a magical place, where whispers of happiness lingered in every rustling leaf and every babbling brook. They set off on their journey, the sun casting golden rays through the canopy of ancient trees. Tiala marveled at the beauty around her, feeling a sense of wonder she had never known before. As they walked, William shared stories of happiness found in the smallest moments, fed to the laughter of a child, the bloom of a new flower, the gentle touch of a breeze. These stories painted a picture of a happiness Tiala had forgotten. As dusk fell, they reached a glistening pond, its surface mirroring the twilight sky. William knelt and pointed to the water. True happiness comes from within, he said softly. Tiala gazed into the pond and saw her reflection. At that moment, she realized that the contentment she sought was already a part of her. Under William's guidance, she learned to embrace the beauty in her life and herself. As the days grew into weeks, Tiala's heart blossomed with a joy that radiated to all around her. She thanked William for his guidance and returned to her village not only happier, but also with a newfound wisdom. The village seemed more vibrant, the skies brighter, and her connections with others deeper than ever before. Tiala's smile became a beacon of warmth, spreading happiness to everyone she encountered. She often visited William, sharing her experiences and learning even more from his endless wisdom. Tiala's journey to happiness showed that it wasn't about seeking something far away, but about appreciating what was already within and around her. And thus, the little village continued to thrive in the glow of happiness that Tiala and William had nurtured together. Let's continue softly with another tale. Rose and Nymphaea, A Tale of Responsibility. This story is about a little girl named Rose who helps a community of mice, led by Nymphea, by building shelters to protect them from an impending storm, illustrating the theme of responsibility for actions rather than words. In a small village bordered by whispering woods and a shimmering lake, lived a little girl named Rose. Rose was known for her kind heart, and a garden filled with the most beautiful flowers. One sunny morning, as Rose tended to her blooming petals, she noticed a tiny mouse nibbling on a leaf. This was Nymphea, a curious and adventurous mouse. Nymphea had a reputation in the animal kingdom for her mischief, but also for her bravery. Seeing Nymphea struggle with a piece of bread, Rose knelt down and offered the mouse some crumbs. Nymphea looked up, her eyes sparkling with gratitude, and accepted the offering. Rose and Nymphea soon became fast friends, sharing stories and secrets. One afternoon, Nymphea came squeaking to Rosie's garden, her tiny paws trembling. She explained that the mice community needed help. A upcoming storm threatened their homes, and they had no safe place to go. Rose promised Nymphea she would help, and immediately set to work. With her caring nature and determined spirit, Rose gathered supplies and carved her tiny shelters for the mice out of twigs and leaves. Nymphea and the other mice watched in awe as Rose worked tirelessly, her hands moving with purpose and precision. As the storm approached, the shelters were ready. Nymphea led her fellow mice into their new homes, and they marveled at the safety and warmth. Rose stood nearby, her heart swelling with pride and relief. Throughout the stormy night, the mice rested comfortably, protected from the winds and rain. When the morning sun rose, shining brightly across the village, the mice emerged from their shelters, chirping with gratitude. Nymphea scurried to Rose, her tiny heart brimming with appreciation. "Thank you, Rose," she squeaked. "You saved us all," Rose smiled, realizing the true meaning of responsibility. She had not only promised to help but carried through with action and dedication. The village celebrated Rose's efforts, and the bond between human and animal grew stronger. From that day on, Rose continued to care for her garden and her little friends, knowing that responsibility meant more than just words. It meant actions filled with love and commitment. Thank you for joining me. Sleep peacefully tonight.